What's up YouTube, it's Jared, or the Fellow Linguist, and today I have some open beta multiplayer footage of Dust 514. In this video I'd like to talk about my understanding and initial thoughts on the beta, and hopefully give you a brief introduction to the game. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Dust 514 is a free-to-play online first-person shooter for the PlayStation 3, which is supposed to work in conjunction with the EVE MMO RPG on PC. Now, when I first spent some time with the beta, it was all a bit overwhelming when I was asked to pick a faction and read the backstory behind the 4 different nations, along with choosing a bloodline and specialty. My choices were basically just the ones that had the coolest looking emblems. But that's not all. Everything in this game felt so complex, and I didn't understand the initial tutorials, which felt like way too much information. I just wanted to get out on the battlefield. Okay, so initially I wasn't having much fun with the gameplay, and felt like I was being outgunned in most situations. So I decided to head back to the vast menus and tutorials within the mercenary quarters. I spent probably a good hour customizing my loadouts, skills, and gaining a general understanding of how Dust 514 works, so to speak. I highly recommend you do the same, as things became a little easier and I had a heap more fun playing the game afterwards. Now, whilst you aren't on the battlefield, you'll spend much of your time in the mercenary headquarters, which is where you'll purchase your weapons, equipment from the marketplace, customize and upgrade your skills, as well as your drop suits. I'll go into that a bit later in the video. Now, in Dust 514, weapons and equipment have a limit in which, if depleted, you'll need to use a different weapon, or replenish the amount you have with either ISK, which is like a currency you earn playing the game, or AUR, which can be bought with real money. Being a free-to-play game, this is how the company makes money, but you, as the player, can spend as little or as much as you want. Okay, now the main loadout I ran with was a very default Enforcer starter kit with the default assault rifle, Scrambler pistol as my secondary, Locus grenades, and something called a Nanohive, which is much like an ammo box. Deploying a Nanohive on the battlefield allows both yourself and teammates to resupply ammo, which really comes in handy, not only because you're helping your team out, but you seem to run out of ammo for the assault rifle pretty quickly. The default assault rifle seems to be best suited at close to medium range, as it has a high rate of fire, feels a bit weak at longer ranges, and it seems to take quite a bit to down an enemy in this game. After spending more time on the battlefield and upgrading my skills, I was able to purchase new weapons, and I discovered my favourite assault rifle variant so far, which is the GEK-38. Purchasing and upgrading your skills in this game is one of the most crucial factors, as it governs your abilities on the battlefield, from things such as unlocking new weapons to use, your efficiency with particular weapons, and even the ability to use different drop suits. It's also by far the most complex and vast factor to the game. For example, say you unlock a new weapon to use. It's not always as simple as equipping it and using it in a match. You may need to upgrade your drop suit to be able to wield a certain weapon. Upgrades within the game are purchased with skill points, which you acquire both over time and as you're playing. Alright, now the drop suits are essentially your loadouts in Dust 514 and can be broken down into 4 simple classes, which are Assault, Logistics, Heavy, and Scout. Within these drop suits you can modify the modules and customize your fittings with different equipment and weapons based on your preferences, but there are limitations based on your in-game skill and progression. Weapons are broken down into 3 main classes, which are Sidearms, which includes weapons such as the pistols and SMGs, light weapons, such as shotguns, sniper, and assault rifles, as well as the Heavy Weapons class, which includes weapons such as heavy machine guns. There are multiple different weapons in each class, all with a heap of different variants broken down into Standard, Advanced, and Prototype categories. There's also a huge range of other weapons and equipment used on the battlefield, such as the Nanite Injector, which is similar to the defib paddles in Battlefield, Nanohive, which is similar to the ammo box, as well as explosives, various grenades, and swarm launchers, which are great for taking out tanks. Now, although I haven't really had the opportunity to spend any time with the vehicles in Dust 514, as some of you may know, I'd much prefer to be on the ground with an assault rifle. But there are 3 different vehicle categories, which are light vehicles, heavy vehicles, and dropships. Vehicle loadouts are also customizable in a very similar manner to your Dropsuit fittings, and can also be accessed from the mercenary quarters. Okay, now as for game modes, there are two different game types in Dust 514, Ambush and Skirmish. Ambush is similar to a team deathmatch game type, where the two teams will fight to deplete what are known as enemy clone reserves. This is similar to tickets in Battlefield, or essentially, how many spawns each team have left. Skirmish is more so an objective-based game type. The objective is to capture or hack NULL cannon installations in order to destroy the enemy mobile command center. The more cannons a team has, the more damage they can inflict. The match is over once an MCC is destroyed, or if of course, a team runs out of clone reserves. At first I wasn't very impressed with the gameplay of Dust 514, as the movement feels a bit clunky, hit detection seems a little off, it's full of sound and other various glitches, plus it's extremely complex. However, after spending more time on the battlefield and trying to understand the customization factor, I've really started to enjoy the game. I think the developers will continuously work on and maintain the game, as the servers are down every night for daily maintenance. If you game on the PlayStation 3, I highly recommend you give it a shot. Keep in mind this is only the beta. Other than the complexity and the glitches, the gameplay is awesome, and I think that it's got a lot of potential as a first-person shooter. Oh, and let's not forget, it's free. Anyway guys, even though I've barely skimmed the surface of Dust 514, we're coming towards the end of the video, so I hope you've all enjoyed the beta gameplay, as well as my thoughts and opinion, but I hope I've also given you a brief introduction to the game. If so, please hit that like button and be sure to leave a comment if you'd like to see more Dust 514, and let me know what you think. If you'd like to see more videos in the future, please subscribe and stay tuned. Peace.